Morning, Tracy.
Hi, Judy.
Hold a lift, please.
You're late, Clark. The train was late, Mr. Rolfe. Try getting an earlier one. Anyway, we've wasted enough time. Get that lot sorted out.
You're late, Clark. 50 lashes, no pay.
Funny, Mike. I suppose you're in at dawn doing the offices out with a vac.
You do yourself no favours, mate, coming in late with Porky about. Especially on Mondays, you know what he's like.
Nothing special about Mondays. He's always like that. Anyway, it's not my fault that the train was late.
Well, don't blame me when you get the boot. So how was your weekend? You and Judy do anything exciting?
Not really. Usual. Shopping on Saturday and Judy's mum on Sundays for lunch.
You want to get out from under the thumb, mate.
Not under the thumb. I just like staying in with Judy sometime.
I'm surprised she lets you out long enough to come to work.
Morning, Roger. Hello, Mike.
Morning, Sharon. How was your weekend?
All right, but I think I've picked up something. My throat hurts and I've got a terrible head.
Can't be any worse than the one you usually have.
Very funny. I better get on. Mr. Rolfe seems to be in a bad mood this morning. Do you have anything for the post room yet, Roger?
No, I've just got here myself.
I've got some letters you can take to the post room. French letters.
Oh, lost the use of our legs over the weekend, have we?
No, but there's no use having a dog and barking yourself. What's wrong with her then? Time of the month?
So, how was the weekend, Judy?
It was great. Roger and I went bottom drawer shopping on Saturday and then we stayed in and watched a video.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I helped my mum with the cooking on Sunday and we went for a walk in the park in the afternoon. What about you?
Oh, me and our Dave went down to Homebase for some kitchen units. There was a sale on. Then he went off to his silly football.
Morning, ladies. How was the weekend? Hope you didn't do anything I wouldn't do.
Well, that doesn't leave much, does it?
I don't know. Maybe we should get together and find out.
Go on with you. Some of us have work to do.
He fancies you, you know.
I'm starving and it's ages till lunchtime.
It's getting worse, this stuff. Listen to this. Dear Mr. Clark, with reference to your recent letter regarding the fact that I am in arrears to the Building Society for the last 4 months. Unfortunately, whilst reading it, I was called away to the telephone and returned to find the family dog had eaten it. He's trying to tell me his dog ate his homework. Honestly, Mike, why do we do this?
because it pays for when we're not doing it. Speaking of dogs, that reminds me I'm off to the track with some of the lads tomorrow if you fancy it. They're doing a half-price deal on the vodka.
You've been going to the dogs for years, Mike. No, Tuesday's badminton with Judy.
Badminton? The way you two play, you probably get more exercise walking to the court from the car park. Badminton. Terrible minton, more like.
What are you two laughing about? Got no work to do?
No, we're not high flyers like you, Gary. We just get paid to turn up. What do you do at the weekend? Clean all the brown stuff off your nose?
Actually, I went to the Young Managers Society dinner. Good networking and very interesting listening to the latest management theories.
Yes, it sounds very interesting in a totally boring way. Oh, here we go. Lucas for his Monday coffee morning with Wolf.
Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Not any better for seeing you, thank you.
Charming, I'm sure. Is Mr. Rolfe in?
Is he in what?
Helpful as ever, I see. Mr. Rolfe, just wanted to have a word with you.
What do they talk about in there?
Biscuit time, ladies? Jammy Dodgers for you, Tracy? How many fingers would you like, Judy?
It's a good job my Roger's not here. He'd give you a bunch of fingers.
Hey, Judy. If I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
That's so old. Get on with you.
So, how's it going with you and Roger? No signs of wedding bells yet, then?
Not yet. He's just finished his night school.
He has asked you, though. I mean, you are getting married.
Of course. What else is there?
Well, Gary, what have we got today?
Egg and chips, 75p. Very good value.
That's great, Gary. Eating your way to an early cholesterol grave and all for under £1.
Well, yours isn't much better.
Ah, but you forget. I drink at least 15 pints of beer each week, which destroys any trace of this muck they call food.
How's the course you went on last week, Gary?
The EMT course?
EM who? Weren't they an 80s band?
EMT, Effective Management Techniques. It was about structuring your approach to work so you can be a more effective team member and achieve your goals.
Goals? What's football got to do with it?
I was obviously using management terminology, Mike, which is obviously why you don't understand. Look, remember that correspondence which was lost because it was filed in the wrong place? Well, EMT teaches us that if we'd filed it correctly in the first place, the time spent looking for it wouldn't have been lost, and therefore we could have been doing something more productive with it.
So let me get this right. It's taken 3 days to tell you that if you do things right first time, you don't have to do it again? Well, Gary, that's some management potential you've got there. How long does it take you to learn how to use the phone? About a month?
Look, I'll see you later. I need to get some stuff finished.
It must be love between you and Judy.
Why do you say that?
You daydreaming?
Oh, I was just thinking, you know.
You do too much thinking, you do. You want to try doing for a change. Anyway, can't stop. I'm meeting the girls for lunch. See you later.
Mr. Rolfe, could I have a word with you about my management quality time sessions? Not now, Gary. I haven't got time. I'm meeting with Lucas in 5 minutes.
You know, Mike, I'm thinking about going to see someone in HR. Asking people who have no money why they're late with their mortgage repayments. Look at this stuff. There must be more to life than this.
Doesn't bother me, mate. Never out of the pub long enough to worry about it. Maybe you should go see him, though. With all those A levels and stuff, maybe they can find you something else.
Anyway, I'm going to go down to the post room. I'll see you later. Sorry, John. Didn't see you there.
I wasn't doing anything.
No, it was my fault. I wasn't looking where I was going. How are you doing anyway?
Nothing. Not doing anything.
Oops. Looked like I picked up one of yours here. Oh, Rolf. Here, let me do that.
Look, I've got to go. See you later, eh?
Oh, hello, Mrs. Henry.
Ah, Roger, yes, do come in, have a seat. You said on the phone you were looking for a bit of a change.
Well, yes. To be honest, I don't really know what. I've been here around 5 years now, and I was just wondering.
Well, firstly, let me say that you've done exactly the right thing by coming to see me. The last thing we want is for people to get frustrated and bottle it all up and then start looking for another job outside the society.
Oh, no, I haven't done anything like that yet. I mean, I'm not going to.
Oh, it's all right. It's very common for the more brighter of our staff to be looking around for a bit more challenge after a few years. As I said, I'm just glad you came to see me first. We don't want to lose the talent we have. Look, I'm sure that we can help you. After all, that's what we're here for. HR's not all about hiring and firing and pay disputes, eh? Roger, I've had a close look at your file, and it seems to me that your potential and abilities may be a bit more on the analytical side. There's some openings within the Planning and Procurement Division, or PPD, which you might be interested in. Are you familiar with PPD?
Vaguely.
Well, PPD is charged with developing locations for new branches of the company. You may have wondered how this is done?
They
use tools like market research and population statistics to determine good potential properties, which can be converted into a branch, or in some cases, where a completely new one can be built. Then we're involved in setting up the new branch from the building stage right through to making sure there's enough paper clips on the desks. At the moment, they're looking for someone to train as a market analyst, which concerns the initial phase of looking for new potential sites. How does that sort of thing sound to you?
Well...
It's a challenging role and very different to what you've been doing. A couple of other points you should think about. Firstly, the training period would last for about 8 months. Secondly, this job can involve quite a bit of travelling since obviously new sites may be anywhere in the country, so you'd have to be prepared to be away from home. Do you have any questions at the moment? Well, in that case, here are a few notes about the position. Take them home with you, have a good read through them and think about it. Then if you are interested, let me know and I'll fix something up with Ken Brown, the department head. If not, we'll talk again. One other thing, if you were interested and was subsequently offered the position, it's worth remembering that your pay grading would remain the same until your training was over, after which it would be reassessed. For that reason, it would be better not to think of it as a promotion, more of a sideways step.
So how was work today?
All right, I suppose. Usual. Mark Scully came round at lunchtime for a chat. He asked me if I'd like to go for a drink sometime. Of course I said no.
Mark Scully? Prat.
Oh, jealous are we?
Of him? Oh, sure. He's got the personality of a wet fart.
Don't swear at me, Roger. Just 'cause you're jealous. Anyway, the girls in the office think he's very nice, and they're quite envious of the attention he pays me. Not that I go looking for it. He's got brains, that one. He'll go far.
Brains? If his brains were dynamite, he wouldn't have enough to blow his nose.
You think you're so clever with your fancy words and your night school and all that, don't you?
I think I'm a bit cleverer than Mark Scully. But so's your average plank of wood and probably more interesting to talk to.
Well, where's it ever got you, eh? What's the point of all this night school and A-levels? You're still doing the same job now when I met you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have been doing something about that this week.
What do you mean, Roger?
Well, you know, I've been a bit moody recently and fed up at work, so I went to see HR to ask about maybe changing jobs or something.
Changing jobs? What do you mean, Roger?
Well, if you calm down a minute and let me get a word in, I'll tell you. I just wanted to have a chat about doing something else, that's all. It's not as if I resigned or anything.
Doing something else? Roger, you're 25. This is no time to start changing jobs.
Judy, it's because I'm 25 that I'm thinking of it, before it's too late. There are 25-year-old stockbrokers with Porsches running the city. There are 25-year-old Antarctic expeditions for all I know.
Well, you're not a stockbroker. And anyway, you don't take your driving test till June.
You're right, I'm not. I'm an arrears clerk, and I'll be one in 10 years. Don't you see, it's an end in itself. It doesn't lead anywhere. In 20 years, maybe I'll be in Rolf's position shouting at people like me. I feel there's something else than this, I don't know.
So this HR person told you to become a stockbroker then, did they?
No, of course not. Look, forget about stockbrokers. They suggested I talk to this other department. I don't know, it sounded interesting, that's all.
Roger, if you change jobs, will it be like a promotion? I mean, if it was, then maybe could we get married sooner?
Well, it'd be more of a sideways step than actual promotion. I mean, I certainly wouldn't expect to be any worse off.
A sideways step? What does that mean? Roger, I don't understand this. Why didn't you talk to me before deciding to start sidestepping and become a stockbroker? Don't expect me to go live in the city with you, or am I supposed to be one of your options too? Because if you don't watch out, I might start doing some of my own sidestepping. I don't know what's got into you. You've just gone off at this complete tandem.
I think you mean tangent.
Don't tell me what I mean. I know what I mean. It's you who seems to have the problem deciding what you're doing with yourself. You know your problem, don't you, Roger? It's all this college stuff. It's gone to your head, and you think you're better than the rest of us.
Judy, I thought you'd be pleased. This could be a chance for me to do something I like for a change.
Yes, something you like. You haven't even given a thought to what I want, have you?
Well, what do you want?
I thought that was obvious, Roger Clark. Well, you still want to get married, don't you?
Yeah, but I just think we ought to wait a while.
Well, I don't.
Judy?
So she didn't take it too well, eh? That's women. If you do something, they don't like it, and if you don't, it's worse.
I don't know, Mike. Why do I bother? I mean, would it be so different? Listen to me, talking like I already have the job.
Well, it seems like it's gone all right so far. I wouldn't worry about missing this place, and none of us lot are going anywhere. Anyway, I reckon it'd be a whole lot different. For one thing, you wouldn't have to put up with Rolf.
Yeah, well, that's still one hurdle to get over. I have to see Rolf later. He has to write some report on me for personnel.
Rather you than me, mate. It's going to come as a bit of surprise for him, isn't it?
Maybe. Still, I don't see what he can do about it.
A lot of mail for you this morning, Roger.
It's hate mail from people he's having thrown out onto the street for not paying their bills. Heartless git, isn't he?
That's not funny, Mike. Are you going to the office party then, Roger? There'll be a right laugh. Why don't you bring Judy along? We haven't seen her for a while. You are still seeing her, aren't you?
Yeah? Why wouldn't I be? Anyway, what party?
The office Christmas party. It's on December the 15th in the canteen. All the food and booze is free. The big bosses are going, because there's going to be some videotape message from the head office. Anyway, there's a disco so we can all get pissed and photocopy our asses. Huh? There'll be a right laugh. So, are you coming or what?
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Honestly, I don't know what's got into him. All of a sudden he's got this bee in his bonnet about doing something. I mean, it's not like we don't do things. We're always out looking for bottom drawer stuff, or around at my mum's place helping out. Then there's the badminton. When I met him, he was a really nice lad, a bit sheepish, but that was fine. He was like everyone else, you know, had a steady job, didn't make waves. He doesn't drink much, and he doesn't even like football much. He was all ready to settle down and get married. But then when he started with all these night classes and exams and things, it's like he became restless or something. He talks about more to life. I ask you, Tracy, what more does he need that he hasn't got?
My Pete talked about doing something different once. It was before we got married. He came home with a bra with nipple holes and some dirty videos. God knows where he got 'em. Anyway, I binned the lot and gave him a good crack.
Come in. So, what's all this about then, Clark? I've had a call from HR saying something about a transfer to another department, and I'm to make an appraisal of your performance. As if I haven't got enough to do. What's wrong then? Job getting you down a bit, is it? You've never said anything, and you know my door's always open if you have a problem.
Well, Mr. Rolfe, it's not really a question of the office.
Well, is it me then? I must say, Clark, you don't seem to have much to say on this subject.
Thing is, Mr. Rolfe, I've worked here in the arrears office for a few years now. I just think maybe it's time for a change. Try something new, you know. I thought that I might be able to do something with these A-levels that I've been taking at night school.
Oh, so that's where you've got all these fancy ideas from, is it? Night school? All these exams and whatnots? I'm a practical sort myself, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I suppose I can't blame you for wanting to better yourself. It's a shame, though. I had high hopes for you, Clark. You're a bright lad, not like that slacker Mike you hang around with. So where is it you're thinking of going?
To the Planning and Procurement Division.
That's Ken Brown's lot, isn't it? I must say I didn't think that sort of thing would be your cup of tea. Been interested in them long, have you, Clark?
No, not really. It's just what came up on the computer in HR.
Ah, computers. Everything's on computers these days. It's all you lot with your A-levels changing the world. They tell me I have to write this report into a word processor. I prefer the old ways myself. Well, best get on then, Clark, so I can do this. Lucas, I'm calling a meeting tomorrow night. I think we may have a problem.
Oh, glad you could join us. What happened? Couldn't sleep?
Nope, I couldn't. Especially not with a bird I was with over the weekend. She kept me up all night. Hey, we ended up going to Morecambe, me and some of the lads. What a laugh.
Bit cold for the seaside this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, but we didn't really see much of the beach. I saw a lot of the bar and the bedroom. Met some girls in this pub on Saturday night and went to the disco afterwards with them. Mine was a real cracker. Tell you what, that bloody sun gets everywhere. What about you then, Mr. Hermit? What have you been up to? Any news?
News about what?
Don't give me that. I know you're bursting to tell.
Well, I don't know. You can never tell with these things, can you? But, well, it felt alright, you know. I told HR I was interested and had a good chat with Ken. You made it sound really interesting.
Oh, Ken, is it? Sounds like you got your feet under the table already. Good for you, mate. So, made your mind up about the Christmas party?
I've forgotten all about it, but I may as well go. It's free. I'm sure Judy will like it.
It should be free if we have to watch some bloody videotape from head office. I bet that'll be a right snore.
So who are you going to take then, Romeo? The sand girl?
I don't know yet. I might ask the new temp.
What new temp? Hello, I'm Roger Clark.
And Stedman, I'm the new temp.
Yeah, so here. How long are you here for?
Just a few weeks over the midterm break. By the way, do you know your shirt sleeve is wet?
Yeah, I've been drinking coffee. Well, I tried anyway, but ended up getting wet instead.
Alright. Well, if you need any tips, I could probably help you out. I drink coffee all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, you said something about midterm. Are you at Secretarial College?
No, I'm studying at the university.
The university?
Yes, what's so strange about that?
Nothing. It's just that we get a lot of temps, but I don't think we've ever had a student before. I mean, not a real one. I mean, it's not like you need a degree in computing to work here, so what is it you're studying?
I'm doing a degree in computing. It's no big deal. I just thought temping through the half-term holidays would be a good way to get some cash together and maybe even get a little experience.
Yeah, well, it's certainly an experience here.
I saw you. Chatted up the new girl. Don't mind him, love. He's like this with all the girls, a real Romeo. Know what I mean? I'm Mike.
And Stedman.
Anne's a student at the university.
Oh, so you're one of those layabouts wasting taxpayers' money and organising demonstrations, eh? I bet you're a communist too. That doesn't sound too bad, though. Everybody living and sleeping together and all that. Know what I mean?
Glad you approve.
Is that what it's like being a communist, then?
I've really got no idea. I think they gave all that up a while ago. I'm more of a political agnostic myself.
Oh, yeah. So what are you studying at university, then? Typing or something?
I'm studying computer science.
God, not another computer whiz kid. Anyway, I'm going to be in accounts for the rest of the morning, so I'll see you at lunchtime, you big stud. See you later, Jan.
It's Anne.
Yeah, right. Bye.
Don't worry about him. He's just...
So what do you do here, Roger?
Me? Well, I'm an arrears clerk. Boring, eh? I'm hoping it'll all change soon, though.
Yeah? Sounds like you have plans.
Oh, it's just that I've applied for a different job in another part of the building society. It's no big deal, but I thought it'd be a bit different to here.
That's great.
Really? You think so?
Of course, if it's what you want to do. At least you're giving it a try.
Better get on with things and try and dry off.
Yeah, okay. Nice talking to you.
Here, Roger. This came for you in the internal post. Thought it might be important.
Is it important then?
Could say that, yeah. I think this is it. It's from the building society.
Well, come on then. Open it. Put us out of our misery and let us know how much more we need to put up with you.
Dear Mr. Clark, I got my name right then. With regard to your recent application to join PPD, blah blah, we regret to inform you that we're unable to take your application further. Wish you good luck in the future. Cynthia Henry.
Sorry, Roger. Still, might be for the best, eh?
Well, you gave it your best shot, mate.
Hi, Roger. Heard about your news. Really sorry. Look, I'm leaving early as it's my last day. Back at uni on Monday. Well, if you're ever passing by, give me a shout.
Thanks, Anne. See you sometime and good luck. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, Roger. Never expected to see you here.
I just came in for a quick drink before I go home. It's been a bit of a tough day.
Yeah, that was bad news about the job and all. So, the old bugger's still up to his tricks.
What? Who is? What do you mean?
It's Rolf.
What's wrong? What do you mean?
Oh, I might as well tell you. He can't do anything for me now. Look, a long time ago, back in the 80s, Rolf and I were arrears clerks, like you are now. Well, I came across a young couple, Tom and Kathy Oldsworth, who were struggling to pay their mortgage. Tom was a miner and lost his job when the pits were closed. Kathy worked at the local school as a dinner lady. They had 2 kids to look after. You're too young to remember. But back then, around that time of the miners' strike, there were a lot of people having problems around here. A lot of people were unemployed. There was lots of tension. Families were being torn apart by the strike. I was about your age and I came from a mining family. But by good luck more than anything, I got a job here instead. I knew what they were up against. Anyway, the Holdsworth situation got worse. And by rights, we should have foreclosed on the mortgage. Instead, I held off and covered for them. But one day I was out sick and Rolf took over some of my work. He found out about them and asked me why I'd not a repossession order on their house. He didn't care about their plight, just about his career. At the same time, our boss was leaving to go to another building society, so his job was up for grabs between Rolf and me. Rolf told me that unless I withdrew my application, he'd tell the whole world about me covering up. And that would have meant the end for me and the Holdsworths.
But Rolf couldn't do that. It's blackmail. Couldn't you do anything about it?
Like what? Even if I had spoken up, I would still be fired, and Tom and Kathy would be God knows where. Anyway, kind-hearted Rolf promised me that if I pulled out and he got the job, which he did, he'd keep quiet. At least he kept to it, I suppose.
Jeff, I'm sorry about the Holdsworths and what happened back then, but how does this relate to me?
Because then maybe you'll understand and believe me when I tell you that Rolf is power mad, and he's not going to let someone half his age show him up. As a matter of fact, I think he's got a lot worse since he blackmailed me.
But I'm not trying to show him up. I just wanted to try and get somewhere with my life. It wasn't even a promotion.
That's not the way Rolf will see it. To him it's something that makes him look bad.
But he didn't have anything to do with him.
True, but he thinks it will be seen as a reflection on him. In a way, it's worse that it's not a promotion. I mean, that at least would be understandable. But this looks as though you're trying to get away from him at all costs. And that doesn't look good for him.
But I'm not. And anyway, what can he do about it?
He's your boss, isn't he?
Well, of course, but you know that.
And you had to tell him beforehand that you wanted to leave.
Yeah, so what? I was only going to another department, not another company.
But he had to fill in the report for your HR to indicate your suitability for the new post. Listen, since Rolf and I crossed swords way back then, I haven't even come up for promotion. Why do you suppose that is? I know I'm not exactly dynamic, but I haven't even been considered for appraisal.
There must be something I can do.
About as much as me, I should think. Nothing. You'll never be able to prove it. It's all locked away somewhere in personnel, and they will never tell you.
Well, if it is true, it looks like he's won again. Jeff, what did you mean last night about not coming up for a promotion?
Look, Roger, I think we both had a bit too much to drink last night. Let's forget it.
No, wait, I mean, didn't you say something about records?
Well, it's like I said. Someone somewhere knows about all this. Probably on some computer somewhere. But look, there's nothing you can do, Roger. Better just accept it and move on. Believe me.
No, you're wrong, Jeff. I think there is something I can do. So when I realised the real story, I decided I had to do something.
Roger, don't think I'm being unsympathetic or anything, but why are you telling me all this?
Because I need your help.
I'm not sure I understand you. What can I do?
I've got to find out whether it was Rolf who put the dampeners on my application. Because if it was, then maybe I can get something done about it. At least I'll know where I stand.
I see. That is, I think I do. No, not really. Sorry, Roger, I still don't understand how I can help.
Well, the thing is, look. HR started keeping all the records on the computer of the applications for all positions. Somewhere amongst that stuff is my application, and with it is the appraisal that Rolf wrote about me. I don't know anything about computers, but if I could get into that system with your help, then I might be able to find out if it's true.
I don't think I can help you with that one, Roger.
Well, I know it's not strictly legal, but it's all I could think of. I don't blame you for not wanting to help.
I didn't say I wouldn't help. I meant I'm not sure if I can get into the system. The stuff we do here is quite different. I do know someone who might be able to, though.
So does this mean you'll try and help?
Of course I will, you idiot.
And you're not worried that we might get sent to prison or something if we get caught?
That's what makes it exciting. There is one thing, though. What will you do if it turns out to be true? I mean, given the way you're intending to find out, I wouldn't have thought presenting Rolf's boss with the info is likely to do you much good, even if he gets the boot.
You're right, but I haven't had much time to think about that yet. I suppose I'll have to deal with that if it turns out to be true.
Yes. I mean, after all, it could be that you're just crap and they didn't want to give you the job. Relax. It's just a joke. Come on, let's go see if we can find Hacking Joe.
Hacking who?
There he is. Joe. Joe, over here. Roger Clark, meet Joe Johnston, better known in third-year computer science circles as the legendary Hacking Joe.
So, what are you studying?
Nothing, I work. I'm the rears clerk at the Northernshire Building Society.
Cool.
I met Roger when I was working there over the midterm break. Joe's the best in the business, isn't that right?
I have my moments. So, what can the best in the business do for an arrears clerk? Don't tell me my parents have skipped off without paying the mortgage or something.
Oh no, it's nothing like that.
Pity. Never did like that house much.
Look, Joe, Roger has a bit of a problem which I think you may be able to help him with.
Sure you don't need the medical faculty?
Very funny. Look, I'm serious. He needs a bit of hacking done. All illegal, of course. It's the HR system at the Building Society.
Look, I don't want to appear stupid, but what is a hacker anyway?
A hacker is someone who gains unauthorized access to a computer system.
I see. So do you think you can get into the system where I work?
Oh, doubtless, especially since you have a password. That'll speed things up no end.
But my password only lets me into the customer accounts function, nothing to do with personnel.
Exactly. So the question is it possible to break into the personnel module from there, get the info, and cover our tracks before A, the system manager catches us and calls the police, or more likely B, the night watchman catches us and calls the police?
Night watchman? You're not thinking of doing this from the office, are you?
And what would you propose?
I thought you computer wizards just telephoned into the system somehow.
We do when it's possible, but I happen to know something about your place. Anne's not the first student to get a vacation job there. Your system is based on a secure network which doesn't quite extend out of the building. In short, it's not connected to the phone lines. Quite old-fashioned, actually.
Oh, great.
I'm glad you think so.
Look, all we have to do is get into the building after work for an hour or so. How difficult can that be?
Well, for me it'd be no problem really. I often work after 5:30, which is the official finishing time and when most people leave. I'd just have to submit a late working request, but they wouldn't let friends come in at that time though.
What if I came in as a customer or something?
Well, it might work. We do see members of the public from time to time about specific issues. When would you be able to come?
Oh, I'm sure I can find a slot in my busy social calendar. How about tomorrow? Strike while the keyboard's hot, eh?
Tomorrow? Yeah, maybe. Okay, let me think about it. Look, I'll call you tomorrow, okay? You know, I've been past here hundreds of times on the bus over the years, and this is the first time I've ever really looked at the place.
Well, I've been at the university for nearly 3 years, and you're the first person from town I've ever really been friends with.
It's pretty segregated, isn't it? I only know you because you've stepped into our world briefly. I envy you. You live in a place surrounded by interesting people like Joe, even though they are a bit crazy. It seems so different. I sometimes wish I'd gone to university. Bet you thought we were all really boring at the building society while you were there.
Not really. Well, maybe some. But you get that everywhere. Anyway, you could go to university if you wanted. It's not too late. And didn't you tell me you got some good A-levels at night school?
Yeah, I did, but I don't think I could do that sort of thing now, despite all those conversations we had over lunchtime about getting out. I mean, in a way, that's what I was trying to do by moving departments. It all seems a long time ago now. Well, I'll see you soon then for a bit of breaking and entering, I suppose.
See you tomorrow. Take care.
Hello, Judy. How are you doing? I didn't expect to see you up here at this time.
No, I'm sure you didn't. Who was that girl?
What girl?
The one I've just caught you with, and don't lie to me, Roger Clark. I can read you like a book.
Oh, you mean Anne? She was a temp at the Building Society.
So what were you doing talking to her just then, at this time of night, and up here?
Well,
Well, what? I'm waiting, Roger.
Calm down, Judy. There was nothing to get excited about. Like I said, Anne was a temp at the office last week and she left some things. Anyway, Rolf asked me if I would return them to her, since it's on the bus route I took.
Things? What things?
Some books she'd left from the university. You know what these students are like with their books.
So you're asking me to believe that she was sat there reading books whilst temping for the Building Society? And not only did Rolf not mind, he asked you to return them to her? Pff, Roger, do you think I was born yesterday? And do I look stupid to you?
No, of course not.
So why are you telling me this cock and bull story?
It's not a story, it's true.
You're lying, Roger. Now tell me what's going on.
Look, can't we talk about this later? I'm worn out.
No, we can't, Roger. I want to know what's going on now.
Judy, for God's sake, keep your voice down.
And I've told you I don't believe you. If you've got nothing to hide, why does your face look like a beetroot?
He's in for it now.
Mind your own business and stop eavesdropping!
Well, it's a bit difficult to miss when you're shouting your head off, you cheeky young bugger.
Roger! Roger, did you hear what he just called me? Say something to him!
Judy, will you just calm down?
Will you please be sitting down, miss? Passengers are not allowed to stand on bus.
Look, Judy, I'm not lying to you. All I was doing was returning some of Anne's things, that's all. If you don't believe me, ask Mike tomorrow.
Oh, fat lot of good it'll do asking that lying toad. He'll sell his own grandmother, he would.
I don't think he's got one.
Oh, don't be stupid, Roger. Well, that's all it better be, Roger. Because if I catch you with someone else, it's over for us. You know that, don't you?
What are you talking about? Come here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that...
I know, look. Why don't we go out somewhere? It's been a while since we've gone anywhere.
Great idea. We could go to the cinema tomorrow. There's that new film on.
Oh, I can't tomorrow. I've got to work late.
What? And what are you working late on? That girl, no doubt.
Of course not, it's...
Don't bother explaining. When you've worked out what or who you want, then let me know. Until then, I don't want to talk to you. Goodbye.
Hi, Anne. Look, I think we're on for tonight. I've had approval to work late.
Okay, I'll tell Joe.
We definitely have a problem.
Maybe there's a traitor within the circle.
Here's what we'll do. Joe will arrive at about 6 o'clock. Everyone will be gone by then.
Well, Rog, I'm off to the pub. See you tomorrow.
No, I'm sure it's someone on the outside. It's Bradley. I can feel it. I saw him talking with Clark in the post room the other day. Ken Brown, who Clark also wanted to join. Brown, Bradley and Clark. Who is it?
Good evening. My name is Mr. Slack, and I have an appointment with a Mr. Clark in the arrears office. I'm a bit late, I'm afraid.
What was the name again, sir?
Mr. Clark.
No, sir, I meant your name.
Oh, sorry, Black.
Black? Didn't you say Slack when you first came in?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sure you said Slack. Didn't you hear Slack, Bert?
I thought he said Flack.
Look, my name is Black. Maybe I did say Slack, but I don't know. But I've been under a lot of pressure recently, what with the breakup of my marriage, losing my job, and now this place is trying to take the house away. So if you don't mind, I'd just like to get on and see Mr. Clark.
Yes, well, sorry about that, sir, but we do have to check, you understand? Now, if you just wait a minute and I'll let Mr. Clark know you're here. OK, sir, you can go up. It's the 7th floor, and Mr. Clark will be there to meet you.
What the hell happened down there?
I don't know. One of the guards just started giving me the 3rd degree, but I think I fooled them with my story.
Must have been some story. On the phone just then, he told me he looked a bit violent and should call them if I needed help restraining you.
You don't actually work here, do you? I mean, it looks so boring.
It is. Look, come on, let's get started so we can get out of here as soon as possible. Those two on the front desk will be watching out for us. And I don't think it's going to be long before they start doing the rounds.
How's it going?
It's fine. Joe's here with me. Let us know if you see the guards at the front desk leaving.
Okay, will do.
How's it going?
Not bad. Hang on a minute, I think I'm close. Bingo. I'm in. Another first for the great Hacking Joe.
That's incredible.
Piece of cake?
What do we do now?
Now we just inquire upon the information we want. For instance, if we do this... Voila! The truth is out.
Often late, unable to work without constant supervision, not a team player. For these reasons, I cannot recommend Roger Clark as a suitable candidate. Signed, Mr. A. Rolfe. So it's true then. It was Rolfe after all.
Looks like it. Sorry, old man.
Jeff was right.
Who's Jeff?
Can you alter things on here?
Well, yes. I can edit the records, but look, Roger, I know this is a bit rough on you, and I probably don't understand the half of it. But how does it help? I mean, what we're looking at is history.
No, not me. I want you to look up Jeff Phillips. I think there's probably a date in there somewhere that I want you to change.
Well, if you say so. I hope you know what you're doing, though.
Oh no!
What the hell is going on here?
Mike, what are you doing here?
It was raining when I left the pub, so I came back to get my brolly. I didn't expect to find you here. Who's this?
I think I'd better explain. Meet Hacking Joe.
I can't believe that you've done all this. I'm impressed. Maybe there's hope for you yet, mate.
Well, it's got me a long way, hasn't it? Might as well not have bothered.
I suppose there's no chance that Joe bloke was wrong. I mean, he doesn't look like he's playing with a full deck, if you know what I mean.
No, no chance.
Look, Roger, Rolf won't be around forever. You could try again.
But it's not fair. I shouldn't have to try again. I didn't do anything wrong. I knew things with Ken Brown had gone okay. It's just bloody Rolf.
Well, I wouldn't bother taking the issue to HR if I were you. Not after getting an outsider to break into the computer. You'd probably end up in jail or something. And it's not worth that. Anyway, you're no worse off now, are you? And to be honest, I don't know how much better off you would have been if you'd got the job.
You begin to sound like Judy.
How is Judy these days? I haven't seen her for a while. You've not chucked her, have you?
No, but we do seem to be going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment. It seems like everything I say gets misinterpreted. And you know what she's like. Flies off the handle pretty quickly.
Oh, God. Have you got the world on your shoulders, haven't you? You don't think she's, pregnant?
No, I don't know. Chance will be a fine thing.
Well, maybe she's got someone else.
Is that meant to cheer me up? She might have, for all I know.
Heard about John Bradley? He's just been fired today. Well, they said he's been made redundant, but if you ask me, it was as good as a firing. He was called to Mrs. Henry's office 10 minutes ago and told his services were no longer required. They gave him a settlement cheque, 5 minutes to clear his desk, and then marched off the premises. Apparently, Ken Brown was a bit cut up about it. Seems he had no idea. Rolf was there too.
What was he doing there? Sorry, John. Didn't see you there.
Witnesses, I suppose.
That's 3 people kicked out in the last 5 months. How much do you reckon he got for a settlement then? He's been there nearly 3 years.
Well, whatever happened, I just hope he gets another job soon.
I tell you one thing, getting fired is not exactly a recommendation.
Hello, Jeff.
Roger, this is starting to turn into a habit. Take a tip from me and watch yourself. Anyway, what are you doing here?
Dunno, really. Seemed like a good place to come.
Sounds like there's something behind that.
You're right about Rolf.
How come you're so sure? I mean, I could have been wrong, you know.
No, it's true. Believe me, I know.
That's terrible, Roger. Have you thought about what you're going to do?
Like you said, doesn't seem to be anything I can do.
It's not the end of the world, you know. Things could be worse.
Why does everybody keep on telling me things could be worse? You, Mike, Judy. It sounds like listening to a broken record. Things could be worse, alright. I might get run over on the way home. Or maybe my parents will get a divorce like in one of those soap operas, and Porky will end up marrying my mum, and then my name will be Roger Ralph, son of Porky. I've just found out that as long as I'm working at the Building Society, I'm never going to get anywhere, and Judy's on the point of chucking me in. I mean, how much worse can it get, Jeff?
At least you've still got a job. Think yourself lucky you're not in Bradley's shoes right now.
Yeah, the poor bugger. Don't you know how many times I felt like confronting Rolf today, Jeff? I must just be a wimp, or otherwise I would have done it, wouldn't I?
You're not a wimp, Roger. After all, it's not exactly the best of days for complaining, is it? At least you tried to do something about your life in the first place. Look at me. All I've done is sit in the corner for the last 10 years or so and kept my head down. The truth be known, I think there's a lot of people like me around, and I don't mean the drink. Most people just seem to put the minimum effort into life and kid themselves that one day soon they're going to do something about the job they don't like, or fix a car, or a leaky roof. But then we get too lazy, and after that we get scared that one day we might actually have to do something about it. Scared because we've forgotten how. So we keep our head down and talk about it. But at least you try to do something about it.
God, I wish he was here now. I'll tell him what I think.
Well, why don't we just go round and see him? I know where he lives. we can get a taxi.
Great idea. Let's do it.
This is it. God, I should have done this years ago. Come on, Roger. Let's go and knock up Rolf.
Look, hang on a minute. Let's think about this for a moment before we go rushing in. Looks as though he's got some friends round. What if he's having a party? Perhaps we'd better leave this until another time.
Look, Roger. He hasn't got any friends that walk on less than 4 legs. And even if he's having a party, so much the better. We can gate crash it.
Well, let's sneak around the back first then, and see if we can see anything.
I don't believe what I just saw. What the hell?
What the hell? What the hell is going on in there, Jeff?
Don't ask me. It looks like a lot of things have come off. Some kind of orgy or something.
No, I don't think it is. I mean, nobody seems to be actually doing anything, if you know what I mean. They all just seem to be listening to Rolf.
Well, I always said he talked through his arse. Maybe he's trying to prove it. It sure beats the parties that me and the wife get invited to, Rog. What do you think it is? Fancy undress? Shame we haven't got the camera.
I think we better get out of here. It looks like they're about to start coming out.
I'd say they've already done that, Roger.
What happened this morning? Missed the train?
No, just didn't feel like running for a change.
Must have been some night last night.
What do you mean?
Well, look at you. You look like death warmed up, unshaven, late for work. You've not been knocking around with those nutters from the university again, have you?
Nah, not them. Mike, if I tell you something, will you keep it to yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Look, come in here. It's true, Mike, I'm telling you. That's not all. There were others from work there too, all managers.
You told him then. We shouldn't have gone there, Roger. It was crazy. If Rolf had caught us...
Well, I think Rolf and Co might have had a bit of explaining to do themselves.
Maybe. But my advice to both of you is to forget all about it. Rolf can be a dangerous man to have against you in this place. I know it was pretty odd seeing them all prancing round in the all together, but basically what he chooses to do in his own home is up to him. And I'll tell you something else. In most people's eyes, that sort of thing is much less of a crime than being a drunk and prowling around other people's property.
What do you think they're all doing anyway? I mean, you have to admit, even without them all being in the buff, it looks a bit suspicious. What with Lucas and all the others there?
I don't know, Roger. I really don't know. I've known Rolf a long time, but in the last 5 or 6 years, he's really changed. I honestly think that whatever power he has, or imagines he has really gone to his head. There's been a lot of things going on round here, which I'm sure he's somehow involved in.
What do you mean? What sort of things?
I can't really put my finger on it. It's more of a feeling. Lots of little events over the years that don't seem to ring true or add up properly.
Listen, I've been thinking about things over the weekend and I've got an idea. Don't want to go into it now, but how about going for a drink tonight?
Yeah, fine. You like your drinking these days, don't you?
I'm going to ask Jeff to come along too, and maybe someone else.
Sure. More the merrier. Haven't had a good piss up for ages.
Jeff, I need to talk to you tonight at the pub. I think I've got an idea.
Well, okay, Roger.
There is one thing though. I'd like to tell Mike in general terms about you and Rolf. Don't worry, I won't say anything more than I have to.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing, Roger.
Trust me.
Hello, Anne. It's Roger.
Hi, Roger. How's things going in the real world?
I wouldn't know. But here in Bordenland, things are pretty much going the same as usual. Look, the reason I was calling was to see if you can make it to the pub tonight.
The castle, huh? Roger, you're such a romantic.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I've asked Jeff and Mike to come down too. Something I want to talk through.
Wouldn't have anything to do with Rolf, would it?
You know me so well. Listen, I need to tell you something. Something about what's been going on.
So, we meet again, and just you this time. Okay then, Rog, tell us what it's all about, and then we can get on with the serious activity of drinking.
Okay, look, we all know what this is about. Rolf and others from the Building Society are into something. We don't know what. It's a fair bet it's affecting our jobs, and who knows what else. Now it's the office party a week on Friday. We know that Rolf is planning another get-together this Saturday night. If we can take Rolf's at their Saturday night meeting, and it turns out to be incriminating, we show it at the office party. We're going to be showing some tape message anyway, so there must be a video player. When we stick our tape in, it should steer things up a bit, don't you think?
I think it sounds like a good plan to get us all fired. If you don't get arrested first for being peeping Toms. What do you think you're going to do? Just march up in the middle of the party and stick your tape in the machine, you daft git? How long do you think you'll last, let alone Rolf? Anyway, we don't know Rolf's up to anything more than having a good time with a few mates. And that's not exactly against the law. People pay for a lot worse, I can tell you.
Well, I don't know about Roger's plan, but I think Rolf is definitely up to something. Look at this.
Where did you get this from?
I don't know. I found it in my pigeonhole a few days ago. As a matter of fact, I thought it was from one of you lot.
It still doesn't prove anything.
Okay, look. Why don't we do the taping and then decide what to do if it does turn out to be incriminating?
Anyway, where are you going to get a video camera from?
I could probably borrow one from the audio-visual department. They loan them out to students working on their own projects.
Oh, great. This is going to be some project. You're both bonkers and I won't be coming to visit you in jail when you get caught.
You know, it might work. If we could get the tape switched at the office party, then nobody would know we had anything to do with it. It would be worth it just to see the expression on his face.
I can't believe this. You all want your brains tested. Suppose you managed to tape them without getting caught, and then you somehow managed to switch the tapes at the party, both of which I doubt. Have you thought about the consequences of the world seeing Rolf prance around naked like a silly old fart? He'd probably get fired or something, maybe even sent to prison for all I know. Is that what you really want?
Look, Mike, I know what you're saying, but Rolf has to be stopped. And if that means he ends up getting fired, then that's his problem as far as I'm concerned. You didn't worry about Rolf when Bradley got sacked. And what about Jeff and me? He's ruined both our chances. Who knows what else? And what about this note that Jeff got? You can't keep getting away with it. Do you think you'll be able to get a camera for Saturday?
Yes, I think so.
What do you think, Jeff? Should we do it? Well, are you in or not?
Okay, look. I'll go along with making a tape. Then we'll look at what we've got. If it turns out to be something, maybe we'll do something with it. But one thing at a time, okay?
So what made you ask me to come tonight? I mean, I'm assuming you didn't know about me being able to get hold of a video camera.
No, I didn't, but it's good news. Now, I asked you to come because, well...
I'm glad you did.
You are?
Yeah, I like being around you. You're quite a bit different from most of the guys I know at the university. Not surprising, I suppose. And all this intrigue about Rolf is quite good fun.
Well, compared to most of the girls I know, you could be a different species altogether.
Bloody hell, they're at it! Lucas, Newbie, look, they're all running around in their birthday suits.
Keep your voice down.
Look at that, Roger. I'd never believed it. I tell you what, that girl opposite Lucas has got a cracking...
I know. I've seen them.
Quite a show they're putting on. Take a look, Roger, see if you think it's okay.
Perfect.
You know, that tits look even better on the telly. I wonder what they're saying.
If you two finish gawping, we might be able to find out. This is a limpet microphone. We should be able to hear through the glass. Okay,
to our
I'm going to start
removal of
taping now.
Bradley, I was able to recently stop a potential spread of whatever Bradley thought he was onto by preventing one of my staff, Roger Clark, from transferring to the same area where he worked.
All Clark knows is that his application was turned down. I think these incidents show just how careful we have to be. Our organisation is still in its embryonic stage. Whilst we're having great successes, it would only take one slip to set us back a long way. Everyone must be vigilant and make sure we go unobserved, leaving no tracks.
So it looks like all your worst fears are true. At least we got it on tape. What are you going to do with it?
I don't think I've got much choice. I've got to try and get the tape shown at the office party. I had thought about sending it anonymously to someone higher up, but who's to say they're not involved or won't have it covered up to avoid a scandal or something?
What about Jeff and Mike?
I just have to try and convince them. After all, they've come this far, and I know Mike was as shocked as I was by what he heard. The thing is, Rolf thinks I'm somehow involved in trying to break up their little fun and games. He said as much on the tape. Of course I am now, but I wasn't then, if you see what I mean. So in a way it's become like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Rolf's watching me, and at the earliest opportunity, he'll do to me what he did to John Bradley, unless I do something first.
It all seems to be getting very serious. When I first met you, you were this well-meaning, daydreaming character who was a bit out of step with the people around you, and I liked that. Most of the people at university are actually pretty straight-laced despite the impression they give off being wacky and zany. And then all this prowling around and breaking into computer systems started, and it was all a bit of a laugh. It seems like over the past few weeks you've changed somehow.
I think I have changed. I always knew there was more to life than being an arrears clerk, but never knew what. I can't let people like Rolf stop me finding out.
Just saying be careful. We've just met and prison visits aren't really my scene. Look, Roger, I don't want to get heavy or anything, but I want you to think about things between us over the Christmas break, and things between you and Judy. You need to tell her something. It's not fair on anyone. I don't want to say any more than that.
Well, I suppose that's it for you this year. Term finished, I'm going home. Alright for some, eh? We'll still be working up till Christmas Eve.
Yep, no peace for the wicked. I'll try and drop in the pub tomorrow night before I leave, but I can't promise. Depends how late I'm running. I've still got a few assignments to finish off that I should have done last week.
So, he admitted that they had got rid of Bradley because he was onto them somehow. I wonder if it was Bradley that sent me that note. It would have been just before he was fired, because there's been nothing since.
Could have been, I suppose. I must have found out something about this circle that they kept going on about. Makes you wonder how Rolf latched onto him.
Who knows? Maybe it was just coincidence, like it was with you.
Anyway, what we're going to do? We agreed that we'd make this tape and then decide. Well, we made the tape, so now what? We have to do something quick before a few more of us wind up looking for another job.
I think you're right. It's time to even the score, and we won't get a better chance.
Okay, let's do it. It'll be worth just to see the expression on Rolf's face.
This calls for another drink. Who's buying?
Him.
I'll do it, you cheapskates.
Tell you what, I'm glad Judy doesn't want to go to a Christmas party after all. That'd be difficult.
Still going through a bad patch, then, eh? Anyway, you can't complain. You seem to be playing the field a bit recently, don't you?
you mean?
I don't think she's here to see me or Jeff.
Hi, Anne. Made it after all then.
I've been thinking, Roger, we ought to make a copy of the tape in case something happens to it.
You mean so you can watch the women? As bad as Rolf?
No, seriously, what if it gets damaged or something? It'll all be for nothing.
Mike's right. You don't know what's going to happen to the tape when it's been shown. It might get all hushed up somehow. Something might just go wrong. It might be useful to have a copy just in case.
Okay, there is one problem though. I've got the tape, but I don't have a second machine for copying. We don't have a lot of time left.
No problem. I'm going up to see the old man on Thursday night. He's got a video. I can take my machine up there and copy it.
Well, it's time I was off or I'll miss my train. Merry Christmas, everyone. Good luck. See you later, Mike. Yeah, good night.
I'll see you to the door.
It all seems such a game. No matter what you
Well, have a good Christmas. Give me a call when you get back.
I will. Take care of yourself.
No matter what you play, it all seems such a game. No matter what you play, it all seems such a game. No matter what you play.
Your Roger was having a good time last night.
What are you talking about?
I saw him last night in the castle with a couple of the others from his office. They were having themselves a right, Barney. Sounds like they've got something planned for their office party this week. Are you going along?
I don't know. Haven't decided. Depends if I get a better offer. Anyway, what do you mean something planned? Roger's not like that. He doesn't plan things.
Well, he does now. They kept going on about a videotape one of them was going to bring. That one with the black hair. I've seen Roger and you with a few times.
Yes, Mike. Was anybody else there?
Well, there was a girl earlier on, but she left. I wouldn't worry though. Roger was too drunk by the end of the evening to get up to anything.
I'm not worried. Hello, Roger. Thought you'd fallen off the planet or something.
Well, it's just been a bit busy lately.
Well, that's what I'm ringing about. I know we haven't seen much of each other recently, so I thought maybe we could try and get on a bit better at your office party on Friday.
But I thought you didn't want to go.
Well, I thought it might do us some good, you know? Give us a chance to talk.
Well, fine. I've got to go. I'll talk to you later about it.
So what are you doing for Christmas?
Well, that depends on who I spend it with. But it seems all the best girls are taken.
And what if one of them wasn't? Not now, Roger. Come on, let's go in. It's freezing standing here. I thought you might have dressed up a bit.
What? Judy, it's not exactly a fashion show up there, you know.
Maybe not, but all the lads in our office wear smart clothes for the office party.
Yeah, I suppose the famous Mark Scully is dressed in his usual designer suit, is he?
Well, you're not going to cause much of a commotion looking like that, are you?
You'd be surprised.
Come on, Roger, let's get a cool drink. I'm hot already. Where's Mike then? Thought he'd been here.
Oh, he's coming at about 2:30. He had some things to finish first.
I'm just going to the ladies, Roger.
So far, so good. Any sign of Mike yet?
No. He should be here in a minute, though.
I hope he hasn't got caught in traffic.
Judy, what are you doing here?
Thank God I caught you in time. Change of plan. Roger said to leave the tape on his desk until he's ready to collect it.
Why?
I don't know. He's up there. I'll expect he'll tell you when he sees you. I'll go back and tell him you're here.
Well, okay then.
Where's the tape?
It's on your desk when you told me to put it. What's going on? Something gone wrong?
What? I didn't say that. You're supposed to bring it here like we planned. There isn't much time left. We're playing the tape at 3.
Hang on a minute. Judy said you wanted me to put the tape on your desk. She said something had changed at the last minute.
Judy? What are you talking about?
I just saw her in the entrance. She told me something had changed and she said to leave the tape on your desk. So I did.
We've only got 10 minutes left. Look, I don't know what Judy's up to, but she's after that tape for some reason. We've got to get to it first. Come on. Judy, give me the tape.
Not until I find out what's going on, Roger.
Look, I haven't got time to explain now. I'll tell you everything later.
No, Roger. It's now or never. And if you try and grab it, I'll throw it out of the window.
Look, Judy, I haven't got time to mess around. This is important. Give me the damn tape.
Don't swear at me, Roger. Anyway, there's no us as long as you're seeing your fancy friend from the university. And in case you're wondering, while the cat's been away...
Shit! It's gone into the canteen. The party, come on.
That's it. We're finished, Roger Clark.
Roger, I've got it.
What are you two up to? Give me that. Corporate message tape. I'm sure you're all aware of the next item on the agenda, and I'm sure, like me, you'll all find it a particularly interesting message.
Hey, Mr. Rolfe, that looks like you, that does.
What the devil? Oh no.
You can always get that Joe guy to change the results. Anyway, gotta go. There's a new temp started. Want to check her out.
Well, good luck. See you at lunchtime.
Nearly missed it.
How's things going in the old department, Mr. Superintendent? Missing Rolf?
Like a hole in the head. You wouldn't recognise the place now. Not that you high flyers in PPD would come near us. You know, Roger, it's funny. I still wonder sometimes how come my name came up for promotion just after Christmas. After all those years of nothing. The computer must have thrown a wobbly, eh? Never did trust them. See you later then.
I want you to look up Jeff Phillips. I think there's probably a date in there somewhere that I want you to change. I can Joe. You're brilliant.